First of all, thank you again for joining us tonight and into our second month of our university webinar. Tonight's title is University Match and Fit, and our head of university guidance, Dexter Padiyachi, will be sharing with both parents and students as to how we plan to be launching our university counseling service. Now, first of all, let's take care of the administrative aspects. We will be recording this entire session for the benefit of those who are attending so that you can have a video link to review what you have listened and watched. And also for those who might be on the road, traveling season, who might not be able to join, then we'll send them the link so that they will be able to review at their own comfort as well. First of all, we are Sesame. For those families who might not know us, we are an education consultancy. We specialize in preparing our students, middle school students, high school students for U.S. boarding schools and universities. Many families know us through our boarding school work. But for those families who have known us long enough, we have actually been in the university scene for many years. Last year, since I stepped down from my previous company, Foundation Global Education, I decided to take on a slower gear, be a little easy on myself, and focus just on boarding school. But while doing the boarding school consulting, I have been working hard at the background in putting forth a brand new university counseling program. I would like to share, some of my observations that I've had over the years in university counseling. See, the university counseling field, especially for the US, hasn't really been changing much over the last years. If you go to any top independent school, boarding schools alike, university counseling don't really get into its high gear until the second half of grade 11. And even when that begins, each counselor is taking care of a whole lot of students. And so from a student's own perspective, you don't get to have much encounter with your counselor more than 5 or 6 times during a 12-month period. And during those times, when you do get in touch with your counselor, the attention are very spread thin. Changing from, selecting your safety schools. Have you done your SAT yet? Or when you're going to do it versus, how you're going to be tackling your essays. So it's not really a very focused effort in helping students getting into the top schools, but pretty much trying to make sure that everybody is managing the process okay. Therefore, an army of private consultants came into place. And that's why we have been seeing private consultants coming up more and more over the years and with higher and higher price tag. Yes, private consultants, you can start as early as grade 9. You can have lots of engagement, lots of contact point, but you pay an arm and a leg for it because it's all done one-on-one. Choosing a consultant is like choosing a doctor. So it's like trial and error, heavily relied upon word of mouth. And there's not enough of a consistency or quality assurance in the process. And the engagement with the student can range from some peer chit-chat all the way to, give the students a list of to-dos and you just follow the to-do list. And then with the students, also there are issues with the students as well. Students have become too passive in the process. They are not invested enough in their own career design and college application. They just go into this counseling process or just with a mindset of listening to what the counselor has to say. So kind of like going to a movie and watching a cinema. They do not necessarily under this scenario of being pampered by the private consultants, students do not necessarily have the entire will to forge their own path. And let alone many students under this type of environment, they do not entirely understand what the landscape is. They are acting mostly alone, just between them and their consultant. They don't exactly know how other students are preparing for their college application. And in the midst of all this, many parents are not even in the picture or not in the picture enough. Many counselors, they do not report regularly to the parents. And that becomes the problem that I have observed over the years. And this is the background behind my work over this last year in coming up with a university program that is attempting to address every one of these issues. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce our head of university guidance, Mr. Dexter Pagliacci. And Dexter is here to lead our university practice and to lead our brand new university counseling program that we are launching next month. So without further ado, Dexter.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Daniel, and welcome to all the students on the call, as well as parents who have joined us today. So as Daniel mentioned, my name is Dexter Pagliacci, and I serve as the head of university guidance at Septimede. And I think that Daniel gave a fantastic introduction to the university prep program that we are launching. And I just want to highlight a few things about the program before we get started and move into the webinar topic today, which is University Match and Fit. What I really want to highlight is that this program is designed by educators for the sake of providing students with the necessary tools and capabilities that's needed for them to thrive. Unlike traditional university consultants, I think that what we'll offer through our engaging online group classes is an opportunity for peers to learn from each other. We will go through an in-depth review of careers as well as majors, and then develop some core skills that are really necessary for students to thrive at every stage of their lives. So this is not solely for the purpose of getting into the best university. That is indeed what we hope to do, but we also hope to equip students with the skills that will enable them to thrive in high school and even beyond. Beyond meaning their careers as the world is constantly changing. And I think what is very unique about our program is that we've combined online group lessons with one-to-one advising. So you really get that personalized feel while engaging with students in critical discourse and discussions about topics that are important as you develop each part of the way. So without further ado, I would like to just introduce you to today's topic, which is University Match and Fit. Choosing the right university is more than just picking a name you recognize or a school with a good reputation. A good match and fit ensure that you are in an environment and where you are able to go through an academic journey and personal development as well. When you're at a university that aligns with your academic needs, social preferences, and financial situation, you're more likely to succeed and grow and enjoy your time at college. So our hope today is that this particular webinar introduces you to some ways to think about match and fit as you select your universities further down the line. So let's break it down a little bit. What do we mean by match? First, we have something called academic match. An academic match is about ensuring that the university offers the programs and majors that interest you and the academic level that matches your abilities. I think that oftentimes students have ideas of universities in their mind without fully doing the research that is necessary to understand whether the university is going to provide the academic support, the academic program, as well as the rigor that they desire. And so through Sesame's program, this is something that we hope to engage with students from a very early age. As we help you identify and articulate your learning style, you'd be much better placed in order to find an academic match. Next, we have the admission match. This is about ensuring that your academic record, test scores, and extracurricular activities align with the university's admission requirements, giving you a realistic chance of being accepted. In the past 10 years that I've worked in education and counseling in specific, I've oftentimes had students apply to universities without fully thinking about, am I going to be accepted to this university? And what you sometimes get is that students apply to 10 or 15 different universities without a single offer. The same is true about a student applying to 10 or 15 universities, being admitted to 7 of them, and once they get to university, they think to themselves, this is not quite the right academic environment that I was personally looking for. So through the Sesame University Prep program, we really aim to help students understand what it is they need for their type of learning and the environment that will enable them to thrive academically. So now we move into something called FIT. And if you are in grade 11 or grade 12, you've probably heard the terms match and fit. Or if you are a motivated grade 9 or grade 10 learner, you've probably done some research and you may see the words match and fit when reading about university options. So in order to define fit, I think that there are 3 main components. Social fit is about the campus culture. Does it match your values and your interests? Are there clubs and activities that you're excited about? I recently had a conversation with a student, and they were very clear about the type of university that they did not want to attend. And so that enabled me as a counselor to engage them and really think about which universities are going to give them the social environment that they need in order to thrive. Additionally, we have environmental fit. So this looks more so at the setting of a university. Do you prefer a large urban campus, or do you prefer a smaller rural one? Consider the climate and the location as well. I think that is very important. Do you want to be close to family? Or are you okay with being really far away from family that might require 3 flights versus 1 flight? These are all considerations that I think that students should make when going through the process of deciding on colleges and universities that they would like to apply to. And then finally, financial fit. This considers whether the university is affordable for you and your family, including available scholarships and financial aid options. One of the most heartbreaking things, I think, is applying to a university and then not getting sufficient financial aid if needed, or a scholarship that will enable you to enroll at that particular university. So it's always important to have some of these conversations very early on in the process so that you and your family can either start saving more rigorously for the cost of education. And as we know, university costs are rising significantly over the past few years and will continue doing so. So planning ahead is also really important, which is something that we hope to do through conversations with students and parents if you were to enroll in the Sesame University Prep program. So now we're just going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into finding your academic match. And to find your academic match, I think that it's really important to start researching the programs and majors the university offers. Do they have what you're interested in? Something else that you may be thinking about is, do they have a flexible curriculum? Perhaps you're unsure of what it is you want to study or what your future career might hold. So going and applying to a university that offers that flexibility is going to be important. The next thing to think about is qualifications and opportunities. Are the professors well known in their fields? Are there opportunities for undergraduate research? I think that for many people, it's exciting to apply to a big name university. However, for the program that you're applying to, does the school have a strong reputation? I oftentimes find students saying that they want to study aeronautical engineering, and every single school on their list is pretty competitive. I won't say which league they fall into, but they fall into a very elite league. However, there might be other larger research universities that are also top tier that offer better aeronautical engineering programs for you. So it's always important to think about the academic program that you're applying to. Are the professors engaging in research? And do you have the opportunity as an undergraduate student to engage in research too? And then the final bit to this is to check the class sizes and student to faculty ratio. Smaller classes often mean more personalized attention, while larger classes might offer more diverse perspectives. So depending on your learning style, and if you would like to get more one-on-one attention when it comes to engaging with faculty members, it might be important for you to apply to a smaller liberal arts college or a smaller research university as opposed to a large public research university where class sizes can range from 100 to 300 and sometimes even more. So these are the factors that you should be thinking about. Regarding assessing your admission match, I think that when assessing your admission match, this involves comparing your GPA and test scores with the university's average admitted student profile. Look at the university's acceptance rate to gauge how competitive it is. Over the past few years, we've been seeing more and more universities fall into that highly selective category. There are some universities who 5 years ago, their admission rate was approximately 17%. And over the past year, it has dropped significantly to 7% acceptance rate. And so higher education, particularly in admissions, is an ever-changing landscape. And so it's important for you to engage with the research, to think about what universities are happening and what those trends in admissions are, so that you can definitely focus on creating a profile and building a profile that is going to increase your chances. If a university has moved from 17% to 7% acceptance rate, you can tell that it is a very highly selective university. And part of what we hope to do here at Sesamede is encourage students to build profiles that move them from being simply competitive to being compelling when it comes to university admission. And part of building those profiles is thinking about the extracurricular activities that you're engaging in. So consider how your extracurricular activities align with what the university has as its values. This can definitely enhance your application if your interests match what the school looks for in a student. So we've done the two categories of match, and now we'll move into thinking about fit. And so the first part is discovering your social fit. And social fit is about finding a community where you feel comfortable and engaged. Explore campus life. Are there clubs, sports, and events that interest you? If possible, I highly recommend that students visit the campus, even if it's a virtual tour. This helps you get a feel for the atmosphere and the culture. Additionally, I think that it's very important to talk to current students to learn about their experiences. What's really fantastic is that more universities are giving interested students the opportunity to engage with current students to learn about their journey. They can provide valuable insights into what daily life at the university is really like. Oftentimes, you see a brochure, you read a website, and you think you have an understanding of a place. But I always tell my students that it's best to engage with a current student to learn about what is happening on an every day-to-day basis. Environmental fit. So environmental fit is about the physical and social environment of the university. Consider the size of the university and the surrounding community. Do you want a large school in a bustling city or a small college in a quiet town? And I'll share a little bit about myself here. I initially thought that I would stay in South Africa and attend university in Johannesburg, which is a bustling city. And I was super excited because this is where I'm from. I have family here and I have friends. However, when I was given the opportunity to attend a liberal arts college in Western Massachusetts, I actually realized that my best intellectual self was nurtured within quiet spaces. I loved taking walks through nature. I loved sitting at coffee shops at 5 a.m. in the morning getting work done. And I don't think that that would have been possible had I gone to the large research university that I intended to within a city. I think it's also important to think about the climate. If you love warm weather, a school in a cold, snowy region might not be ideal. Thankfully for me, when I made the switch from South Africa to the north part of the United States, I welcomed the snow. I enjoyed it. I loved every bit of it. But I do think that climate can affect your mood. So think about what it is that you're looking for. And then finally, reflect on the distance from home. Being close to home might be important for your support system, or you might be looking for a new adventure far away. And what I oftentimes tell international students is to think about how quickly can you get home? Do you have family in that particular region? What support systems do you have within that space? And it's also important to note that support systems can be developed over time. So don't let distance deter you if you were to find the best school for you. Next, it's also important, and I think that this is a note particularly for the parents on the call today. Thinking about and understanding your financial fit is really important. It's crucial to avoid financial stress. I always tell students and families to calculate the total cost of attendance, including tuition, fees, room and board. Sometimes a university will have the cost posted as simply the tuition or tuition and room and board, but there are definitely other costs associated with going to university, whether it's a visa or a flight or textbooks, etc. It's important to really think about what is the total cost of attendance. In addition to that, I encourage all students to research scholarships, grants, and financial aid options. Many schools offer financial aid packages that can make a seemingly expensive school more affordable. And most of your top tier universities are going to offer significant financial aid for international students. So it is important to do that research. And then finally, the reason why we at Sesame would like to start with students from grade 9 and grade 10 is that it gives you time to create a budget. It gives you time to create a plan so that you are ensuring the feasibility of the financial cost of attending a strong university. So we'll now move into a case study, and I always love case studies. I think that they are the best way to think about how match and fit play out in the real world. So meet Rina. Rina is an international student from Japan, and she's interested in studying computer science. We'll also think about how Rina can find a university that matches her academic and admission criteria. We'll also discuss how Rina evaluates social, environmental, and financial fit to make the best decision for her needs and goals. So as you can see above here, I've included Rina's profile. So her extracurriculars, she's part of the coding club. Not only is she part of the club, she's also the president. She volunteers to teach students coding, and she's also entered multiple robotics competitions. Thinking about the preferred setting, she likes urban settings. However, for Rina specifically, she requires quite a lot of financial aid, and so this would be one of the considerations. Rina is at an IB school and she has a score of 37. And she also has a TOEFL score of 105. So, step one, Rina is interested in UC Berkeley. So, UC Berkeley itself offers fantastic programs and they have a top ranked computer science program. They have renowned faculty when it comes to research. And unlike many other research universities, undergraduate students do have options to engage in research. their class sizes are medium to large. So there is that aspect too that is going to help Rena determine whether this is for her. In thinking about the admissions match, so UC Berkeley, the average GPA of a student is 3.89, and that's roughly an IB score of 36 to 41. They also have a TOEFL requirement, a minimum of 80, and Serena's score is 105 and an acceptance rate of 17. So as Rena compares her GPA and her TOEFL score as well as the acceptance rate, it seems as though this is a highly competitive admissions process. Her GPA is in line with the university itself. And so it's also important to think about what is available for Rena. Next, we can think about the social fit. I'm sorry, is my screen showing? So sorry about that. Let me try and get back on. It just stopped.
It appears there's some technical difficulty.
I think that we are back on.
Yes, we are.
So sorry about that. So if we were to think about the social fit, Rena values a diverse and collaborative campus culture, which UC Berkeley offers. She's excited about the numerous student organizations, particularly those related to coding and international students. The frequent tech talks given UC Berkeley's location, as well as the hackathons that they offer, align with her interests. So we can also see that there is a social fit for Rena. When we think about the environmental fit, UC Berkeley's urban setting near San Francisco appeals to Rena's preference for an urban environment. The mild climate is comfortable and suitable for her, and the large, bustling campus offers plenty of opportunities for social and academic engagement. So as you can tell, there are various levels and depth when it comes to thinking about the different aspects of match and fit. And for Rena, UC Berkeley so far seems like a great place. And now we enter the financial fit. So the tuition and fees for UC Berkeley are roughly $44,000 per year for students who are out of state as well as international students, which is pretty high. Financial aid for international students are very limited. So there are very few options for international students to get financial aid, given that University of California in Berkeley is a state school. There's a preference given to in-state students. Additionally, the cost of living in the Bay Area is extremely high. So Rena would need to consider this given some of the limitations in her overall profile. So after thorough research, Rena conducts a list of pros and cons. The pros include top-ranked program, strong research opportunities, and a diverse campus. The cons are the competitive admission statistics, the high tuition and cost of living, and the limited financial aid. So based on this analysis, Rena might decide to apply to UC Berkeley, noting that it is going to be a reach university for her. Even though she matches its academic criteria, she does a lot of what the university looks for in students, she'll also need to think about external scholarships in order for her to apply. My advice to someone like Rena is to definitely apply to UC Berkeley, but in addition to that, look for universities that may offer better financial aid and support for international students while still providing the type of environment that Rena might look for. Finally, we go into thinking about the tools to help you find your match and fit. I am a huge proponent of utilizing many resources that exist online. For example, you could have a look at College Board, Niche, and CapEx. Or, and I'd say that this is most likely your best option, simply reach out to a Sesame University advisor. I think that what we offer is beyond what you can find online. It's also an opportunity for you to talk about the research that you're doing so that you're getting a clearer picture. Having a soundboard, and what we really believe here at Sesame and specifically through the university prep program, is that students can oftentimes read something and take it as a truth. It's not that it's a lie, but it's great to have a conversation about something, and we hope to coach students through that process. Additionally, virtual and in-person visits can be very important. So being part of the Sesame family, you will create a network. And part of that network is as students go into different universities, we will have that network for you to reach out to some of our students that we've worked with in the past to learn from their experiences. And I think that that is very invaluable. Finally, information sessions. From an early age, I encourage students to think about attending various university information sessions and reaching out to admissions officers to ensure that they fully understand what it takes to be competitive and compelling for that specific university. And believe me, admissions officers are more than willing and excited to engage with students. It is why they do what they do. Meeting you as a student is the best part of their job, or so many of them say. So to go back to Sesame, and as I mentioned earlier, why I believe that coming and being a part of this program might be the best decision you make, even when it comes to thinking about your match and fit, is that we follow a holistic development approach. We want students to discover their passions and interests, develop essential skills, and explore universities and careers. And in that way, you will be able to identify what is an academic match, increase your compatibility and competitiveness when it comes to the admissions requirements, so the admission match, and then finally thinking about what it is that you need in order to thrive holistically at university. For a quick overview of our program, we offer a comprehensive and integrated approach. We believe that our curriculum is very cohesive in that it takes a large idea and breaks it into smaller pieces so that students are able to engage with the learning process, learning about themselves, thriving at high school, and then eventually choosing the right university for them. And we do this through personal discovery and growth, skill building and career exploration, and then finally academic excellence and university readiness. To break it down for you further, this is how we've structured our modules. For the grade 9 curriculum, we start off with discovering passions and interests. And if you've already defined what your passions and interests are, what we hope to do is help you develop that even further. We then start the process of exploring universities and careers. The future of work is a constantly evolving area where people are doing research on the role of AI in how professions are being shaped. So we think to ourselves, how do we equip students with the skills and personal mastery in order to adapt, which is how Module 3 comes into play. We want you to be able to adapt within a world that yesterday looks different to today, and tomorrow is most definitely going to be different too. So how do you master yourself in order to prepare for anything that life might throw at you? And then finally, preparing for the future. We think about this in terms of scaffolding or building a pyramid. There is a text called the Cathedral, and if ever you or your families find yourselves in Milan, I highly recommend visiting the cathedral. It has been hundreds of years in the making, and each piece has been added over time. And so we want to be able to be there as a scaffold to lay a foundation for you, and you will be putting brick on brick on brick as you develop yourself moving forward. Similarly, our grade 10 curriculum will follow the same trajectory. However, in this particular program, we will be going a little bit more in depth given the stage of high school that you find yourself in, as well as start developing the strategies that you need in order to be competitive. We find that for most students, they start the process of developing their profiles a little bit too late. And so from an admissions standpoint, it seems as though the student has just added a lot into their grade 11 year, instead of taking it over a long period of time and really developing themselves, gaining new skills, moving from being just a member of a club or a sports team to being a leader in it. And that's what really moves an application from competitive to compelling, as well as storytelling. And so we'll also focus on writing as a critical skill and work with you to apply to various opportunities dependent on the package that you might choose. And here I am extremely excited to say that we've launched Sesame with a promotion for 2024. Since this is our first year of doing this program, we are giving you as families and students the opportunity to gain these critical skills, to explore the future, to think about the types of universities that you might want to apply to moving forward at a very affordable price. Most consultants cost into the tens of thousands per year. And so at Sesame, we are really happy that we can bring this program together at a very affordable price so that you and your family can think about how do you build a profile starting from now. And each of these packages, I think it's really important to note, consists of 40 lessons. So we will have 40 group lessons. But in addition to that, each package will come with a certain number of one-to-one consulting sessions or coaching sessions. On the base program, it will come with a total of 8 sessions. So it's 2 sessions per module. In the enhanced, we move up to 16 one-on-one sessions. And then finally, in the premium package, there will be 24 one-on-one sessions with me as the coach for your child's support, or as, if you are a student, in your development as well. This gives us an opportunity to really engage in meaningful conversations and thinking about how do you prepare essays and applications, interviews, as well as prepare for your career in the future. And our hope is that this program not only brings value to you, but that it's accessible and that you will really benefit from the various opportunities that lie ahead. A little bit of detail about the admissions process. The application is currently open. This program, I will say, we'd love for it to be a scalable project, but it's not for everyone. As Daniel mentioned at the beginning, we are looking for motivated students. We want students to come to the party as us, as teachers, as educators, support you through that process. Over the past 2 meetings that I've had with students, and Daniel was a part of this as well, I gave an analogy about the flight patterns of being on a plane. You have a pilot, you have a co-pilot, and you have an air traffic controller. You as the student, you are the pilot. And so it's really important for you to take initiative and to be motivated. And so part of this is going to be 2 short essays of 150 words each, where you give us an opportunity to get to know who you are as a person. It's really about finding students who will gain a lot of value from this particular program. And the applications are due by July 20th, because we are looking to start the program mid-August. And so I look forward to reading your applications and sharing more about Sesame as well, particularly the university prep program. What I want to also share with you before we go into the Q&A is that at Sesame, the team will be sending out communication tomorrow for you to learn more about the university prep program and to also apply if you are interested. Additionally, what we're offering over the next week is that you can reach out to us if you would like to schedule a one-to-one session with me or with Daniel or with someone from our team to learn more about the program on a one-to-one basis and to think through how this might be beneficial for you as a student. And so with that, I will open it up for Q&A. and also thank everyone for being a part of this journey with us and for attending the webinar today.
Thank you, Dexter. And at this point, we're open for any questions from the floor. While we're waiting for questions to be developed, I would just like to add on to what Dexter was mentioning about the structure of the program. So this is a course. This is not just a counseling, as how it is being typically done. So we'll talk to our students once per month, or once per 2 weeks, or maybe even more frequently, once per week, right? And then the conversation with our students will be done in the traditional one-on-one way. No, this is like a course, like you go out and you take a physics class, or you take a math course. So 40 weeks, so there are 52 weeks in a year. So we have 40 weeks, 40 classes. And every week, every class is 50 minutes long. It's a group class being done in a happiness discussion format. So it's not one-on-one. You're doing it together with other high-level peers. So we, by installing an admission process, we are also trying to not just take in any students who can just pay for the course. We're trying to pick students from the top quartile, what we call quartile 1, the top 5% of the student pool. That's our target audience. We are looking for motivated students. After all, this is a weekly course, so the student will need to have a stamina to go through it every week, 50 minutes every week. And then there's some homework to it. Not going to be a whole lot that will adversely impact the student's participation in his own schoolwork. But there will be some homework involved. So it's not like every week you show up for 50 minutes and you just watch a 50 minutes YouTube video. It's not like that. There'll be engagement. You have to do some preparation work in advance. You go into the course, to the class, you discuss, and there's information to be transmitted, of course. But then there will also be students' feedback and talking about how they feel about the topic of the lesson. So 40 lessons in a year, 40 different topics. So it's a very structured program. Now, you cannot apply or prepare yourself for college just going through a course. So we get that. So we want to make sure that we do a good job in consolidating the knowledge aspect that we want to transmit to our student body into a very structured course, weekly course for grade 9, 10, and 11. But then we also allow enough of a one-on-one coaching time. So this is where the 3 tiers that Dexter was mentioning that came in. Basic tier, we have 8 contact points with our student. And then the middle tier, tier 2, we have 16 contact points. Tier 3, the highest tier, we have 24 contact points. Now, 24 contact points is basically once every 2 weeks. I mean, that's a very high touch type of engagement. But it's not only that. We also have our engagement with the parents. And this is partly what might set Sesame apart. For many commercial programs out there, parents are not necessarily in the picture, other than the fact that you pay for the program. Here, we want to engage our parents. So for the basic tier, our contact point with the parents will be 4 times a year, and then 8 times a year, and the highest one will be 12 times a year. So that's equivalent to once a month. We will be having a meeting with the parents to discuss about the progress of your child, and also to take in the parents' vision and feedback as to what they want their child to experience as well. So this is a highly interactive program, has a strong component on knowledge dissemination, very structured curriculum, 40 weeks, 40 classes, 40 different topics with homework. And then we have the one-on-one coaching, 8 times, 16 times, 24 times with the students, 4 times, 8 times, 12 times with the parents. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, a structure of this curriculum. Now, early on, Dexter was presenting the knowledge aspect. So it appears as more like a lecture style. But the way that it is being conducted is more of a hardness discussion. So there will be the information that the lecturer would be presenting to the student body, but at the same time, there will also be interactive discussion among the students themselves, so that the students would also get a feel, get to know how others are actually preparing for college. Now, granted, some parents might feel, some of the information that was being presented are rather standard, right? But, this is grade 9 level that we're talking about, right? So we want to start off, fresh, not be too intimidating. These are one of the initial classes in module 1. As I said, there are 4 modules, every module 10 lessons. So this would be a sample type of a class being run in the first module to get our students onto a level playing field so that they have all the consideration points. So
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I just noticed that the team has just posted up some of the questions. So Dexter, I would like you to address them in turn.
Great. So thank you so much for sharing that, Daniel. And as you mentioned, we are trying to meet students at the level that they are. So to answer the first question, what if I'm not sure what I want to major in yet? This is part of why we've developed the university prep program to start at the grade 9 and grade 10 level. Many students are not going to know what they want to do in the future, but how we try to achieve this through the curriculum is have students answer very important questions about the purpose that they have and the impact that they want to leave on the world. And so from that standpoint, this large idea, we then start working with students on developing what the different pathways might be, noting that there's not a singular way of making an impact on the world. And we will be having different speakers who will come in to share information from an industry perspective, hoping that that's going to give you a better idea what it actually means to be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor. Sometimes we have ideas on what a certain profession might look like, but in reality, it is not like that. So through the lessons, as well as the one-to-one coaching and the speaker series that we have developed, we hope that students are able to more clearly define what they would like to major in. In addition to that, when applying to university, you can also apply as undeclared. So the recommendation that we'll give to students in this who fall into this category is that the subjects that you take at the high school level should be very broad. You should definitely ensure that you have the right amount of science courses, math courses, as well as humanities courses, so as to not limit yourself. And we will guide you through that process, because we hope to work with students as well when it comes to thinking about what they are doing at their current high schools and how this program can complement what you're doing in class in a very meaningful way. So we will work with students on defining and articulating what it is they would like to do in the future, and then help them on selecting the right major for them. Oftentimes, and I say this as a counselor who was based at a fantastic school, students come in having an idea of a major, and sometimes it changes based on the academic courses that they have selected. And so it's very important for us to help you reach the goals that you've set for yourself. And that's why the touch points are such high level, interactive, engaging, but also high level. I'm hoping that answers the question. So if you're not sure what you major now, if you're in grade 9 and grade 10, you have a lot of time to discover. That's why we start off with the discovery phase as well. To answer the second question, how should I spend my summer before grade 10 if I'm aiming to go to a top 20 university? That will depend on your profile, what you've done already, what it is that you would like to do in the future. I oftentimes tell students that taking a summer program can be a fantastic option, but sometimes what universities want to see is initiative and creativity. So perhaps even thinking about developing something on your own might be the right pathway if what you're interested in is entrepreneurship or maybe going into finance at a later stage. Perhaps it's research, doing something that is meaningful to you and that clearly reflects what you want to do and who you are. I think that's more important. As we spoke about match and fit earlier, in my opinion, you should be thinking about the best major, the universities that offer what you want to do excellently. And so, if you are very certain about what it is you hope to do in the future, I would say do something that is aligned with what it is you hope to major in at a later stage. I also recommend that students between the summer before grade 10 have fun, explore as much as you'd like so that you can form a bank of stories that you can share with other people. A part of the application process is also your ability to tell stories. So take a writing course or join us at Sesame, and you can go on this journey where you think about what it is you need in order to build a strong and competitive profile. And then finally, what I'll add to question two is to also think about volunteering. I think that caring for others, is integral to most, if not all, universities out there. It's about creating a space where people care for each other because universities, like most high schools, want to create citizens who are going to make a positive impact in the world. If you think about the vision and the mission of many different universities, it says something along the lines of bringing light into the world for the greater good of others. So, volunteering might also be a great option for you in the summer between grade 9 and grade 10. For the third question, how many AP tests should I aim to take if my school doesn't offer AP classes? This is an interesting question because even though your school does not offer AP classes, you're interested in taking the exam. That, to me personally, shows a lot of initiative. It shows that you are motivated and that you are willing to learn outside of the classroom in order to push yourself academically. So that aspect of academic rigor really stands out. I would not say that it is the number of AP tests that you take, but I would rather say that you should align it with what it is you want to do in the future. Remember that when you apply to university, your application will be read in context. So some of the questions the university officer might be asking themselves is, has this particular student pushed themselves given the context of their school? Are they in the top 10% of students at that particular school? And if all of those answers are yes, and you still have the capacity to take another AP test, sure, go ahead. Standardized tests are important. But another question you should be asking yourself is, am I building an extracurricular activity portfolio and profile that is going to balance the academics? Yes, you are applying to go to school, and academics is most likely the most important aspect of it, but it's also what you're doing outside of school. So, in a one on one consultation or coaching session with me, we would talk about what is that right balance for you as a student in order to move from being simply competitive to being compelling.
Thank you, Dexter. I'm watching the clock. I want to be respectful of time. So we're about hitting the hour mark. Now, I would like to say something to the audience over here. What sets this program apart is also through the way that we want to train our students. We do not want to just tell them to do A, B, C, right? You just, this is the list, just do it. Take the checkbox and you'll get into Harvard, Yale, Princeton. We don't want to do that. And by the fact that we are selecting quartile one students, so these are students that are reasonably bright, they work hard, they are high achievers, and they demonstrate their achievements. And they usually they have their own mind, right? They can't be bossed around, right? They might be bossed around when they are middle school students, but these are high school students, grade 9, 10, 11. They're getting into the identity discovery stage. They cannot be bossed around. So what we aim to do here is that we want to teach them through raising questions instead of us trying to tell them, okay, this summer you need to do that. Next summer you need to do that. We can literally tell them. I mean, of our years of experience, we can literally tell them what they need to do. But we do not want to give out the model answer right away. We want them to do research. What do you think? What are you really passionate? If the college are going to consider your candidacy, looking at your grade 11 summer, grade 10 summer, what do you think they would want to see? We want to keep challenging them. We want them to be able to think from the other side, from the college admission side. If you were a university admission committee, how would you evaluate the incoming candidacy? What are the selection criteria? We want to keep raising the questions so that our students would become more and more aware of what is expected of them. And then they come up with their own answer of what they want to do in the summer, or what type of extracurricular activities they want to shine in their own high school. So this is partly how we want to teach our students. I would not say we are better than others, but it's just we do not buy the concept that we just tell our students to do A, B, C, D, E, and then you get into Harvard, Yale, Princeton. They need to own the process, because otherwise students would come in, thinking that my parents pay for the program. You just tell me what I need to do. I'll be very compliant. I'll do what you want me to do. No, that's not how you achieve life success. You don't achieve life success just by following orders and to-do list. You have to be in the driver's seat to drive the process. And this is what we want to impart onto our student body. So without further ado, I think we are just on the hour's mark. I would like to thank everybody for coming in to tonight's webinar. We aim to have a webinar every month. So we're going to have another webinar in August with an exciting title, which will soon be launching to the audience. For those who have registered, there will be a copy of the PowerPoint slides as well as the recording link being sent to you, so you can watch it again with your family members. And for those who have not yet registered, we encourage you to register so that we have your contact information so that we can send you the PowerPoint slides and the recording link. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you soon next month. And we hope that you will find this program attractive and beneficial to yourself if you're a student, and to your child if you're a parent. And we would love to receive your application this month. Thank you. The program is going to start in August, so we look forward to receiving your application over the next week or so. Thank you for joining once again, and until then, until next month, cheers.